everybody. Welcome to New Media Patriot Radio, the show about you, the concerned citizen, the silent majority, the politically incorrect, the social media patriot fighting every single day to restore American values and exceptionalism. You can now follow me on Twitter at ThePatriot143 or on our show Twitter at NMP Radio. Also, visit our website, newmediapatriotradio.com. And if you want to be a political blogger and you want to get featured on our website, simply email us at newmediapatriot@gmail.com. Also, this show's about you. If you want to come on and have your voice heard, you can simply email us as well at newmediapatriot@gmail.com. Email us. Come on the show. This is why I built the show, to have people like you in the audience who wouldn't otherwise have a chance to come on and speak your piece, so to speak. This show's about you, so please email us at newmediapatriot@gmail.com if you want to get your voice heard. Also, I'd like to thank ICRN, or the conservativeradionetwork.com, the new home for conservative talk radio. Visit their site right now. You can listen to me there. I'm actually live. I'm being syndicated via their network. But when I'm not being broadcast live on their network, you can listen to other shows there. It's the new home for conservative talk radio. They have a slew of other talk show hosts that are like a million times better than I am. So yeah, and I'm your host, Cris, and the number to call is 347-338-1775. So apparently the Florida prosecutors dropped charges on Corey Lewandowski, Donald Trump's campaign manager, and we're gonna be talking about that in a brief second. But before we get to that, along with other stuff, I want to make sure that everybody knows that please, you can listen to us on Spreaker. Actually, you can actually chat with us right on the via the Spreaker app. You can download it on your Android phone or on your iPhone, and you can chat with us directly on that app. Also, please, I want to actually try to get featured on. Well, I want to get us, because this is about us. I want to get us featured on iHeartRadio. So I need your help. I want to get up to 1,000 followers on Spreaker. So please, if you're listening to this right now, drop everything. I want you to go either download the app or simply visit Spreaker.com. That's SPREAKER.com, and look for New Media Patriot Radio, and simply follow us there, and so you can help us get our message out and get our voices heard. So please follow me there. I'm trying to reach 1,000. Currently, I think I'm at about 436. I would really appreciate it. So anyway, at this point in time, I want to welcome in my co-host for the night, Kotcha Lee. How are you, Kotcha?
I'm doing great. How are you doing tonight, Cris?
I'm doing awesome. And Kotcha Lee basically co-hosts with me along the last show, along with Bill Mitchell, who did me a favor. He's actually going to be on tonight. He's a regular on the Wayne Dupree show. After this show at 9:00, check out Wayne Dupree. He's going to be on there along with Cambry Nelson, who from time to time is a guest co-host here with me as well. But check out that show, the Wayne Dupree show. I mean, it's amazing. I'm sure you've heard of the Wayne Dupree show, right, Kotcha?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. It's
a cool show, and just visit them today. Also, you know what? Before I go any further, please, also guys, do me a favor. If you're on Spreaker right now, also look up Matt Locke. It's MATT Locke, LOCKE. I mean, his show is brilliant. Seriously, he just got picked up. He's going to be on terrestrial radio, but you can listen to his podcast on Spreaker. Listen to his last episode if you're a Trump supporter. You're going to love it. The guy is just like, he tells a story. He draws you in. He's great. And it's about time. I mean, he's had about 400 and something episodes under his belt. It's about time he got picked up by terrestrial. The guy deserves it. He is a hard worker and he knows his shit. Unlike me, I know some shit. He knows a lot of shit. But anyway, Kotcha, how are you? How's everything since the last time we spoke?
It's going great. Everything's going really well.
So
I got for those of you that don't know me, I do a lot of grassroots works and a lot of volunteering for Mr. Trump. And I got a call from some folks in Rhode Island and at the director level there for the Trump campaign. And we're going to be doing some grassroots work and helping them with some phone banking and canvassing out there in Rhode Island. So we're excited about that.
Awesome. And what can other people, if they're in Rhode Island or not in Rhode Island, what can they do to help you out there, or help the Trump campaign out?
Yeah, if you're in Rhode Island or actually anywhere across the country listening to us, you can touch base with me on Twitter at Kotcha 301, and that's Kotcha 301. Just message me, and I'll get you hooked up.
Awesome. Well, let's get right into it. You listen to The Silent Majority here. I'm your host, Cris, and my co-host for the night is Kotcha Lee. Kotcha, let's get right into it. The Florida prosecutors basically dropped all charges on Corey Lewandowski, Trump's campaign manager. I didn't want to talk about this whole Michelle Fields because it's so stupid if you think about it. She was warned. She was warned to stay away, and she broke the quote unquote protective bubble. And let me just read something from the affidavit that was the disposition that was issued by the Florida prosecutor. It says, after reviewing the video, there is no reasonable doubt that Mr. Lewandowski pulled Mrs. Field back as she attempted to interview Mr. Trump. According to an affidavit submitted by Baron Brown, former FBI agent, when tasked with the with the protection of a political candidate, Secret Service agents will create something referred to as protective bubble. This protective bubble is created to prevent unauthorized individuals from getting too close to the person, regardless of whether or not they are members of the press. More importantly, under these circumstances, it is not uncommon that a candidate's inner circle staff members known to the agents are given apparent authority to assist in clearing a safe pathway, sharing some responsibilities for the safety and well-being of the candidate when agents are otherwise occupied and the protective bubble is compromised, which if you look at the video, it was kind of compromised because the media was told to stay back in the back of the room, but she proceeded to think that she was special.
Exactly.
So
I think that Michelle Fields is unfortunately, I think that she's someone that is seeking some kind of attention, and she knows better. She's been in the business long enough, and actually she's had run-ins with lots of other folks in the same type of manner and accused other people of doing things to her. So it's just quite disgusting that right before the primary something like this would come up to make Mr. Trump and Corey Lewandowski look bad. Yeah,
I love connecting the agenda dots, so to speak here. Here you have Michelle Fields, whose mother is a Honduran-born pro-amnesty, anti-Trump activist. And a lot of people don't know this. I've tweeted this out millions of times. What can you tell us about that?
My understanding is that her mother does not like Mr. Trump, that she exactly what you said, that she's very pro-amnesty. She does not agree with Mr. Trump's stand on closing the border. She feels that we should have an open border. She feels that he's a racist. So that's kind of where the agenda is coming from. And, again, everyone has their own mind, but it's suspect. All of these dots are happening right before the Wisconsin primary. Right. All of a sudden now, with little or no evidence of any harm done to her, there's no real evidence. There's a picture. We don't know. Is that her arm? There's no proof of that. We have laws that we have to follow, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've analyzed her arm. I've analyzed her arm, and if you look at the picture with the bruise, that looks like it's not even her arm, because her arm is very thin. If you look at her in other photos, her arms are very thin. That arm has pretty huge a pretty huge forearm. So anyway, I'm just sick and tired of talking to this.
Well, there were some analysts from, there was also, Cris, remember there was some, I'm trying to think, there was an analysis from an FBI agent that said, and then someone that's in the medical field that said that there's no way you can prove that happened during that encounter. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's just no way to prove it. Yeah. So it's just complete nonsense that was just made specifically to make Mr. Trump and Corey Lewandowski look bad. Well, hopefully this is... And to have the whole narrative of Mr. Trump is against women. It's so completely ridiculous.
Right. And this is like I said, I'm pretty much fed up with it. I wanted to touch base on it, but you know, it's just so petty and so annoying. And the fact that she mentioned that was the worst moment in her life, you know, aside from her father's death, is so ridiculous. I mean, it's mind blowing.
Dramatic.
Yeah, it's very dramatic. At this time, I want to pick up Real Zen Man. He goes by Real Zen Man on Twitter, at Real Zen Man. How are you? Welcome to the Silent Majority.
How you doing?
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Welcome.
Can you hear?
I can hear you.
I'm doing great. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
First time I've ever been on the radio.
Awesome. What do you got to say?
Awesome.
Anything y'all want to talk about? I mean, have you looked at my profile?
Have I looked at your profile? I haven't had a chance, buddy, but do you have a question or a comment? Because we're pretty much pressed for time here. We got a lot of guests coming on. So do you have a question or a comment?
Oh, no. I just didn't know what the topic was or anything like that.
Well,
I mean, I thought y'all was going to ask questions.
All right. Yeah. Well, we're talking about Michelle Fields and how the charges were dropped by the Florida prosecutors. They were dropped today on Corey Lewandowski, the campaign manager of Donald Trump. How did you feel during that whole that whole deal? Like, what'd you think about it?
I mean, do I got to be nice, or can if I say a cuss word, is that okay? Or
yeah, just don't use any of the trigger words that might trigger the leftist babies.
Nice. I think it was all BS.
Okay, all right.
You know, how many times has she done this now? Like 5 or 6 with false complaints.
Mm-hmm.
She's an attention getter,
right? And
you know what the sad thing about it?
How do you?
Yeah, and the sad thing about it, she's so narcissistic. She don't. She won't even know that it's wrong. She don't think she's done nothing wrong.
Right. How do you feel about Megyn Kelly actually meeting privately with Donald Trump, and then that same night going on air and blaming? She basically tweeted out Lewandowski tried to defame Michelle Fields when in fact the video evidence showed clearly he did not showed clearly he did in fact touch her. And then she tweeted out, didn't want to press charges, but the Trump campaign demanded that she file a police report. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Yeah, Megyn Kelly, she's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Mm-hmm. Just Trump needs to be careful with her. I wouldn't trust her.
Okay. Well,
the thing about it is all the.
Go ahead, brother.
You there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing about it is, I used to like all these people. All of them. Megyn Kelly, Glenn Beck, all of them.
Until Trump came along, right? He's exposed.
Trump came along and just he exposed all of them for what they are, and they are evil. Yeah, all of them are evil.
He exposed everybody for what they are, from the GOP establishment to...
I know.
Go ahead, Kotcha.
He's torn the mask off of all these folks.
Yeah. How do you... Before I let you go, Real Zen Man, how do you feel about Donald Trump meeting with Megyn Kelly?
I think he just needs to be careful. I wouldn't trust her. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Keep arm's distance there,
Okay.
But like I said, Donald Trump's a very smart man, so he knows what he's doing.
Okay, so you trust in him and his plan, his ultimate judgment and plan. All right, thank you for calling.
Yes.
All right,
not a problem.
All right, you're listening to
Thanks for calling in.
You're listening to the Silent Majority here. I'm your host, Cris, and the number to call is 347-338-1775. And on the Rebooting Liberty hotline, I have my co-host for the night, Kotcha Lee. Kotcha Lee, at this time, I want to welcome in my other co-host who's calling in now. He goes by the name of HC. He has a radio show also on Spreaker. I listened to his show today, Kotcha.